Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Kayfabe Central podcast. Welcome back to Predict the Bell, the second of four Predict the Bells that we have to do. I am your host, Josh. As always, joining me is Stu World Order.
Hello, everyone.
Rue not able to join us today. Um, yeah, it was last podcast. It was used to that wasn't able to join us. Now
Yeah,
it's
I honestly feel like everybody's been promised Stone Cold Steve Austin, and they've ended up with like James Ellsworth this time.
no, we love you, Stu. Um, But yeah, so we are here with our NXT Great American Bash predictions or NXT Not So Great American Bash predictions. Um, so yeah, we don't have a lot of matches on this card like a typical NXT pay-per-view card. It's 6 matches we have, or actually 5 matches.
Five
Um,
matches.
and
Yeah.
yeah, and then a segment. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Before we do, make sure you guys subscribe, like, and comment, hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, and interviews. Subscribe to the Ko-Fi page. I haven't been uploading there consistently like I've wanted to, but I will be as much as I can very soon. So go subscribe to the Ko-Fi page. It's $5 minimum to subscribe to the exclusive wrestling content tier. So yeah, go ahead and check that out. I don't believe my WWE shop link is working, but so don't mind that being in the description. It's just part of my link tree and my automatic description copy paste thing. Um, so yeah, let's get straight into this. So let's start off with the tag team match. So we have Blake Monroe and Jordynne Grace versus Fatal Influence, Fallon Henley and Jacy Jayne. Now, this is obviously to build momentum for uh, the next day, which is Evolution, which is Jordynne Grace versus Jacy Jayne for the NXT Women's Championship. Um, I think I want to say obvious that Jordynne Grace and Blake Monroe win this. Um, I think I can see Fallon Henley taking the pin. Um, yeah, I don't have much to say about this match. It's just a match. We've talked a couple times on this podcast about the potential of Blake Monroe turning heel, and it's very possible that that can happen here. So, if it doesn't happen here,
I
it can
agree.
happen at the NXT after. Go ahead,
Do you
Stu.
think it's going to happen here?
Mm,
I, I actually, I actually have that happening in this match because I think it's going to do two things. I think, well, we'll get to evolution later on, but I think this match is going to directly feed in that match, and I honestly think that JC and Fallon, with the help of Blake, are going to take this one.
mm. Yeah. See, I think like and this is the thing. I think WWE should do this more often because I hate the idea of someone turning on their partner mid match because don't you want to win the match? And so win the match and then turn on them after. I can see that happening. Um Maybe it's even a case of where they build Jordynne up so much where Blake attacks her mid match, but then Jordynne kicks out and takes out Fallon and Jacy by herself. Um, yeah, I don't see Fatal Influence taking this one. Uh, but I think it is a high possibility that the heel turn does happen here.
See, I always have it in my head that if a big match is going to happen very soon, the opposite happens in the fight beforehand. You know, or somebody usually gets beat down, but they end up winning the title at the next match.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the kind of thing they're going to be going for here. And maybe Jordynne gets pinned in this one. As I say, whether it's going to be with the help of Blake or Blake's just going to turn, I'm not sure. But I think maybe Jordynne takes the pin in this one, making us all think, oh my God, it's not so obvious who's going to win at Evolution. and then the obvious happens at Evolution.
That is very true. That is typical WWE to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it is very possible they could go that route. Um, I just don't know. I feel like they're going to give Jordynne as much momentum as they can. And as we're on this topic, this not even just this NXT as a whole has just not been good at all, and I I missed the last episode of NXT, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm sorry, I missed it on purpose because
Wow.
I was not going to. I was playing basketball and I was like, okay, I got to be home for this time because of NXT. I saw the lineup and I was like, you know what? Not tonight. Not tonight. Um and I ended up watching some of it back, like highlights and stuff, and it's I missed nothing. I There was a segment on NXT with Blake Monroe and Jordynne Grace where Blake Monroe or Jordynne Grace wanted to work out, but Blake Monroe was like, let's get our like hands and feet done or something, and Jordynne Grace didn't know how a massage worked. Um yeah, I this is it was so stupid. And NXT is just it's a sitcom at this point, and it's it's not good, and it hasn't been good, and this is what's going up against All In. This is what they put together to go against All In. And if there's anybody out there with the thought that maybe it was just coincidence, before we got on here, they just announced NXT Hate Wave on August 24th, which is the same day as Forbidden Door. So they are definitely trying to go head to head with AEW. But if it's cards like this and just stuff like this and storylines like this, it's not gonna work out well for them.
Okay, Josh, I'm going to need you to breathe now. Going to need you to just breathe. I was wondering how long into this prediction podcast we would get before you just signaled your hatred for NXT. We didn't quite get as far as I thought we would. I thought we'd get to at least match 3.
I'm
No, I
sorry,
completely
but
agree with you, man.
it's just not been good. And like, yeah, and it's like I'm complaining because I have to cover this every week, and I'm there falling asleep on my couch, and it's like, oh man, this is bad. Like this is not. I don't remember the last time NXT was like this.
PLEs or their PLEs. That's when they shine generally. The weekly episodic shows of NXT are often not great. It is a second screen program for me. It's what I watch while I'm scrolling.
Yeah,
But for me, I try and look at it a different way. I don't look at it for the storylines. I look at it to spot the stars.
yeah.
That's how I keep myself entertained with NXT. I try and spot the stars coming through. Um, so yeah, that's how I keep myself entertained. I have a great image of you watching NXT every week, seething at your television screen, just looking angry, with your basketball in hand, ready to throw at the telly at any moment. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. All In against the Great American Bash is like me fighting Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Just pointless,
Um,
pointless and pathetic.
just this lineup as a whole, it's not even close to comparing with All In. Um,
Absolutely not.
they could have done so much better. Um, so moving on to the second match, we have Jasper Troy versus Javon Evans. Um, should be a fun match. Jasper Troy, I need to see a little more of him, but I like him. I do like Jasper Troy. I like Javon Evans. I don't like the idea of this match. Um, and I think that again, because I'm very, if you guys are consistent watchers of this podcast, you know by now that I am a very storyline oriented person. Yes, I love a great match, but if there's like no storyline behind it, then I'm just like not all that into it. Um, and the same goes for Jasper Shore and Javon Evans. It's like I think this past week on NXT, Javon Evans got beat up like 3 times by Jasper Troy. Um,
He did.
so yeah, I think and I'd even put this on the website, but I think Javon Evans is going to win this. I think Javon gets the win, and for God's sake, put a title on Javon. He needs a title at this point. He should have won it already. Um, at least a North American Championship, he should have won. And so I think Javon takes this.
I I half disagree with this a little bit. I agree with you. This is a match that shouldn't be happening yet. As in the same way I didn't think Jasper Troy versus Oba should have happened yet.
Yeah,
I think we should have built Jasper Troy a lot more. I really like what I see of him. I love Javon Evans, and I'm absolutely with you on give Javon Evans a title. However, I feel you've had Jasper Troy lose a big match already. I don't know if you can keep him relevant and looking like a monster if you have him lose his next big match. I think he needs to win more than Javon Evans needs to win in this particular PLE. It harms him immensely if Jasper Troy loses this match because that's his 2 big matches so far, and he's come up short in both of them. You can't keep looking at him like a monster, and he is being purveyed as a massive monster. Javon can take the loss, maybe get the win back at a later date. Yeah, so I'm going for Jasper Troy on this one just because I think it harms him more to lose this than it harms Javon Evans. I want Javon Evans to win every single match. The triple threat between him, Trick, and Oba, that's kind of when I thought he should have won it.
yeah,
I thought it was right for him to win that match, especially as he was the absolute MVP of that match as well. But yeah, so I'd love to see Javon Evans win it. I think Jasper Troy's going to win it, and it kind of makes sense for me for him to win it. What doesn't make sense is the match itself.
yeah. I agree, and I think another reason why this match shouldn't be happening is because of the predicament both of these guys are in. Neither of these guys realistically can take a loss right now. And I think the way I was looking at it is Javon Evans should be next in line for that North American Championship. Um,
Agreed.
and so the way I'm looking at it, maybe he challenges after this, and um, like we're going on to the North American Championship next anyway. But I think he needs to win this to gain that momentum. If he loses this match, but then still tries to challenge for the North American Championship, what's stopping Jasper Troy from being like, wait a second, I just beat you, and I've been whooping you the countless times over the past couple of weeks. So why shouldn't I get the championship match as well? And um, the way I see it, Jasper Troy, both of these guys are very young, but Javon needs that title. He needs that North American Championship because I feel like I look at it the opposite of you. I think Javon needs this a little more than Jasper does right now.
You might be right in a sense that I always look at this as the finished product.
Yeah.
Say this match was happening with this exact progression on the main roster. I would say Jasper definitely needs it more than Javon Evans. I sometimes forget that NXT is a feeder, so we're not destroying characters straight away. So from that point of view, I kind of see where you're coming from. Um, there is an alternative that neither of them wins, and the Dark State just wrecks the match.
Oh God. Um, so you brought up Dark State. We might as well talk about them for a second. This group is not good. I'm sorry, I don't like it. It's just retribution all over again. And all
It's
their
turning
promos
that way,
are
yes.
all their promos are is like, we're still here and we're gonna cause chaos, and then they get sent to TNA.
Yes.
Um,
To what end are you causing your chaos, guys?
it has not been good. Um, but yeah, I mean, I didn't even think of that possibility of them getting involved in this match. Um, when they attacked Cardona on TNA, I was thinking, oh, okay, this is a sign that maybe Cardona is going to be on NXT. Um, and that he'll show up soon. He obviously wasn't on the past episode, but maybe he could show up soon. Maybe that's going to be a thing. I do think that this is going to be a clean finish, though. I think either one of these guys is going to come out clean, and I think it may be Javon.
Well, to be fair, you've kind of convinced me it might be Javon.
Pardon?
And I said you've kind of convinced me it might be Javon.
Oh,
You've flipped me, dude. You've flipped me. I'm so easily suggestible. I want it to be Javon. I suppose you could still have Jasper become the monster he needs to be. But you're right about Javon needs to start challenging for titles, but be a serious challenger for the title, not and also Javon Evans.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I agree. And as you say, it certainly sets him up for the North American title, at least. I'm sad he's kind of gone out of the picture a little bit. He had a really great run a couple of months ago. He fought for the NXT title, carried himself immensely well, as he always does. But he's just kind of fallen off and become a bit of a side character, which he deserves a lot more than that. So maybe this is what's going to put him back into that title picture again.
yeah. Um, so we just mentioned the North American Championship. Speaking of, it is being defended by Ethan Page against Ricky Saints in a Falls Count Anywhere match. This, I think, can steal the show because a Falls Count Anywhere match for these two is perfect for this rivalry. And it's, pretty much a no disqualification match with the, Falls Count Anywhere. If, and here's the thing, and this is
Yeah.
me being very picky. If the 3 count happens in the ring, the Falls Count Anywhere stipulation just doesn't matter. For me, a Falls Count Anywhere match, have the 3 count happen outside of the ring, somewhere outside of the ring. That way you're like, oh, okay, that can happen. Um, in terms of who's gonna win this match, I think they're going to give it back to Ricky Saints. I don't think they should. I think Ethan Page should retain and keep carrying that championship because I like Ethan Page. I like what he's been doing with the title. They haven't been giving him much, but he's been, you know, doing what he's been working with what he's been given. Um, I think this Falls Count Anywhere stipulation gives the Vanity Project a chance to interfere. And Ricky Saints doesn't really have any backup, so it's possible. And the only backup he has, like the other person who hates Ethan Page just as much as he does, is already in a match we just talked about. So it is very possible
Yeah.
that Ethan Page can retain because of interference from the Vanity Project. If Ethan Page does win this, it's not going to be clean. It's going to have some interference. And but I do think that they're going to give it back to Ricky Saints.
So I'm actually in agreement with you on this one. I also think they're going to give it back to Ricky Saints. This rivalry, now, I'm sorry I'm going to say this, has actually been a really good thing on NXT. I've enjoyed every bar of it. I think the two are amazing parallels. I think they found the perfect rivalry for the two of them. Basically, it's been since Ricky Saints came in that Ethan Page and him have been at each other. Obviously swap the title. I think Ricky Saints takes this because I don't think we're going to see a lot more of Ethan Page in NXT. I
Hmm.
think he's being primed for the big show, um, which is kind of the only reason I think Ricky Saints wins. I like that you're already annoyed that there might be a pin in the middle of the ring and the match hasn't even happened yet. This entertains me greatly. I love that you're so ready to be mad at NXT. How dare they maybe do this? You bastards.
Oh my goodness. Because it's possible. It is possible that they do that.
It's absolutely possible. This suits, I mean, the match suits Ethan Page more just because of his sadistic tendencies, the fact that he's put some real hurt on people, including Ricky Saints with the throat chair shot thing.
Yeah.
It really does suit him. But I think this is why Ricky Saints is going to win. I think it's going to round him out as a wrestler more. You remember back in the day in the Attitude Era, if anybody wanted to be a champion, they had to go through Mick Foley in a hardcore match first
Yeah.
because it made them then look like the absolute complete package. And I think this might kind of be what they're doing with Ricky Saints. Like, if you can beat Ethan Page in a Falls Count Anywhere, as you say, a no disqualification match,
Yeah.
the dude's ready. And I think that might lend itself to Ricky Saints winning here. So I'm in agreement on this one. I think Ricky Saints is going to take it. I don't hate that. I really like Ricky Saints. I hope for Ethan Page, it's going to lead on to bigger and better things. Either a jump to the main roster or a challenge for the NXT title itself.
Yeah. I agree. Um there it's not like completely out of the realm possibility for Ethan to retain because of the Vanity Project, and which I like. I am starting to actually like the Vanity Project, and there you
Me
go, a
too.
compliment to NXT. Um, um no, I actually like the Vanity Project and Ethan Page align with them. Um, yeah, these guys when they first came in, I was like, I don't know, but as they kept showing them on TV, I'm like, okay. And the Vanity Project is the best thing going in Evolve right now. They're entertaining.
Massively.
Um, they have Zeta Steel there as well, and she's got the look, the talent, and everything. And all these guys, obviously Jackson Drake being the Evolved champion. So yeah, I think Ethan Page is really just that leader for them, and that's gonna take them places. Um, Now you are completely right. If Ricky Saints wins this, and Ethan Page goes to the main roster, then the Vanity Project doesn't really have him anymore, and the Vanity Project is a little too new for Ethan Page to bring them up for like spots on the main roster. Um,
Yeah, that's
but
true.
yeah, but hopefully they'll still do good. They're all still pretty talented. But yeah, I am going with Ricky Saints to win it. Like I said, I don't think Ricky should, but I think that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah. So Vanity Project. So I watched a lot of Evolve. Um, and I really, really like them. But it's not, you have to forgive me with their names. So not the guy who's the champion at the moment, but the guy who's got like the blonde sort of floppy hair and a really, really remarkably punchable face.
Oh,
I can't remember his name.
uh, Jackson Drake. Who are the? I Yeah, their names are slipping my mind actually. Um,
But he, to me, I think is going to be the standout.
yeah, he does look like he definitely can never be a baby face with that kind of phase and attitude that he has. Um, yeah, I like the Vanity Project. Um, yeah, I think they're still touring the indies as well, and I've seen some
Yeah,
clips from them. Um, but yeah, they're pretty good.
they are.
Yeah, so the members are Brad Baylor, Bryce Donovan, Jackson Drake, Ricky Smokes, and Zeta Steel.
Right. I still can't remember what one's what, but blonde
Um,
floppy hair, punchable face guy. That's the guy, I think. Weird kind of Shawn Michaels vibe about him, like early 90s Shawn Michaels vibe, and
Brad Baylor is
kind of
the guy you're
Miz
talking
face.
about.
Right, Brad Baylor, yeah. He's the one I'm watching. He's always the one when they're on telly together. Brad Baylor's the one I'm watching.
Um, so on the topic of the North American
Sweet.
Championship on the women's side, we have Sol Ruca defending against Izzy Dame. Now, I've been very impressed with Izzy Dame recently, and I think she has a lot of potential. And she's been doing good with the culling. I don't think she wins the title here though. I think that Sol Ruca retains. It is possible that Tatum Paxley gets involved and helps Izzy Dame win, but after the Culling lost the tag title match on NXT to Hank and Tank, I don't see Izzy Dame doing this, winning this, I should say, because I was thinking that maybe they'll go with like the Judgment Day type of thing with Spears and Vance winning the tag titles, and then um, Izzy Dame winning the women's North American title. But after they lost, I'm sticking with Sol Ruca retaining, and I'm sticking with my prediction that Zarya is going to be the one that takes it off Sol Ruca.
I am in agreement. I've been sitting here thinking about when are they gonna fall out proper? And I think that's more what the story's gonna be in this match. And I think that's gonna probably carry over onto the evolution as well. I agree. I like Izzy Dame. She's all of a sudden like really stepped up in the culling and has kind of become the de facto right hand man. Um, her character works really good. Is Izzy Dame Bron Breakker's girlfriend?
Yes, she is.
Or am I completely wrong? She is. Thank
Yeah.
God. So yeah, so I've been watching her like Instagram stuff and all that lot, which she features Bron Breakker a lot in it, and it's made me like her a lot more. I don't think it's doing Bron Breakker any harm either. Um, so yeah, part of me was actually thinking, is Izzy Dame going to win this? Zariah's going to cost Sol Ruka the title, and then more shenanigans at Evolution, and that's the fallout. But as you say, I think the fallout's going to be so much more interesting if it's for the women's North American title.
Yeah, I agree. I
So
don't think
yeah,
that fallout should happen if it's not for the North American title.
not for the title. Yeah, but for that reason alone, I agree with you. I think Sol Ruka takes this. I really like Sol Ruka. I think she's pretty ready for the main roster as well. She's got the best finisher
Yeah.
in NXT. And she's got one of the best finishers in WWE.
Oh, I
And a
agree.
finisher takes you a long way if it's cool. And do you remember the ladder match for the North American title? I think it was
Yep.
um, at the PLE a couple of PLEs ago. That was unreal, and she was brilliant in that. So I think this, if Ethan Page versus Ricky Saints doesn't steal the show, I think this one could. I think it's two very good wrestlers, two very good characters, storylines going on behind the scenes as well with the tease of the Zariah split, and you've got the culling involved. I think this could be a really, really interesting match. I think Sol Ruka will impress us again here and take it.
She's gonna be the star of that tag match at Evolution.
100%.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to because my wife doesn't watch NXT.
Yeah.
So she doesn't know her, but I'm really looking forward to my wife watching Evolution because it's going to be her first time to see Sol Ruka, and I think she's just going to fall in love with her because, as you say, I think she's going to be the absolute standout of that tag match.
Yeah. So we have a couple more things, but I am going to start a new meeting before we kick out of this one. So I will be right back.
Oh,
We are back. So yeah, I think Sol Ruka and Izzy Dame both are great, and yeah, like you said, it should or could steal the show if the Falls Count Anywhere match doesn't. And even still, it could be the second best match of the night because I am really liking both of their work. Um,
Agreed. See, this is getting me excited. So I'm excited now for the Great American Bash.
um, I'm going to kill your excitement a little bit because something I'm not excited for, and again, this is what's going against All In, is a contract signing for Trick Williams, Joe Hendry, and Mike Santana. Um, I I don't know why we're doing a contract signing here. This could have just been done on a weekly television show. Um, but this is NXT because it's someone who watches both companies is gonna be like, I don't want to watch Kazuchika Okada versus Kenny Omega. I don't want to watch Hangman Adam Page versus John Moxley. I don't want to watch Mercedes Moné versus Tony Storm, two of the biggest stars in AEW that they've been pushing for years. I want to watch a contract signing between Trick Williams, Joe Hendry, and Mike Santana instead. There's going to be nobody that is saying that because this is going to be like every other contract signing. It's going to be talk, talk, talk. It's going to be, Mike Santana talking to Joe Hendry, like, I respect you, but I'm going to win. And Trick Williams is going to be like, I hate you both. I'm going to win. And Joe Hendry's like, I want my title back. And then it's going to lead to all of that. They're going to get into an argument, and then somebody's going to go through a table.
Yes, and that person will be Joe Hendry. Um, I know. Okay, so I'm gonna just set the stall out for you here. Some of us have access to All In Texas. Some of us do not. That person being me. So this is why I'm trying to get myself excited for the Great American Bash
Oh,
and contract signings and all, because I think Amazon Prime are possibly where the only place I can watch All In. So I've started watching AEW a lot, and I actually really like it. I haven't done a lot of videos on it or anything like that yet because I'm not like 100% on it all yet. But I mean, those matches you just listed out there, you could have just those four matches against the Great American Bash, and it would eclipse it by miles.
yeah.
But some of us don't have the choice. So I don't care about this contract signing. I don't care about two TNA people being in WWE and signing a contract for the TNI title. I think that's probably best done on TNA television, isn't it?
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
yeah, I don't care. I don't care. As you say, somebody's going to go through a table, which is always entertaining. But let's just cut the 10 minutes before it of just chatting and signing a contract, which shouldn't be hard. I don't know why they
Yeah.
can't just take it into their individual changing rooms and just, can you sign this, please? Thank you. Um, I don't care.
And like
I want to care, but I don't.
there's nothing that can make this interesting for me. There's nothing
Seriously. Apart from
at
the Rock.
all.
No, it's just a waste of half an hour of all our lives. We'll never get back again.
Yep. Um,
Let's be
but
honest, most of us are going to be watching this recorded, and we're just going to fast forward this bit.
yeah. So the main event, or what we think is going to be the main event, is Femi versus Yoshiki Inamura for the NXT Championship. Um, kind of not really out of nowhere. But again, this is what's going against All In, and I don't think it really goes up to par. They'll probably have a solid match. Um, I am thinking that Femi retains. I don't think that there's any way in hell that Yoshiki Inamura wins this. Um, this would go on my list of most surprising things of the year if Inamura wins the title from Femi.
I honestly, I will be up there with Goldberg levels of annoyance if Yoshiki wins this title. He shouldn't be in the picture. I mean, it was a losing tag team match, a losing tag team fighter 5 minutes ago, and now all of a sudden he's fighting Femi for the title. It just makes no sense to me at all. Um, there's no way he's winning this. This is kind of a pointless main event because there's no way he's winning it. The only reason he might win it is because there's no way he's going to win it.
Yeah.
that makes sense in my adult head. It's like, unless they just want to pull a surprise to just pull a surprise. Yeah, it's Obafemi's he'll get his offense in, he'll do his little moves and his awesome top rope splash. But at the end of the day, Obafemi's gonna win this. And I don't think it's gonna be a particularly interesting match.
Yeah, neither do I. And
don't think
it's like I
sorry,
don't
go for it, man.
watch Noah. So I don't know. Is Yoshiki Inamura like that big of a deal in Noah for people to be like, oh, like from people over there to be like, oh man, like what if Inamura brings the title over here? That's not going to be particularly interesting. I don't know anybody that watches Noah. Um, and I'm going to
I
make
mean,
the
either.
assumption that you don't either. Um,
No, sir.
so yeah, this is not. If I am Shawn Michaels and I have this card in front of me, I'm not putting this as the main event. I am putting the Falls Count Anywhere match for the North American Championship as the main event instead.
It deserves to be the main event. Absolutely. This does not deserve main event status. It's a good wrestler against a guy who people like.
Yeah.
I've got a point to make on Obafemi. We talk a lot about people getting called up to the main roster. And there's always calls for people to be called up to the main roster. Oh, Trick Williams should go up now. Ethan Page should go up now. Ricky Saints should go up now. I very rarely hear people calling for Obafemi to be called up. And I'm wondering why.
Yeah. I mean, this is a guy who realistically could go up against somebody like Brock Lesnar and win. Um, so yeah, that's just another point of why Inamura should not win this. Um, I don't know who's going to dethrone Obafemi. There's nobody on the NXT roster right now that has enough credibility and momentum to dethrone Obafemi. And he's just being thrown random matches. He got thrown Miles Bourne out of nowhere. He got thrown Jasper Troy out of nowhere. He's getting thrown Inamura out of nowhere. At some point, we have to say, okay, I'm tired of these useless matches. Give us a storyline, a proper storyline where Obafemi looks in danger.
Yeah, I can't pick who that'll be.
Yeah.
Apart from Ethan Page, but that's more character than the threat in a wrestling ring. If that real sadistic side can come out of him, that's the only way you'd see Oba being any threat. If Ethan Page just goes full on kind of all ego psychopath and really hurts him in like nefarious ways before they have a match. That's the only time you can really see Oba being in any kind of danger. And as you say, with the Vanity Project behind him. But yeah, you're right. As in Obafemi's title run is becoming less and less interesting because there are no genuine contenders for his title.
Yeah. They'll end up giving it to someone like, I don't know, Nico Vance or something like that. um,
Why not?
Talk about a disappointment. Um, but yeah, that's
God.
NXT Great American Bash. That is the card and our predictions. Let us know what you guys think of the Great American Bash. Obviously, you could very clearly hear what our thoughts were on this card, especially mine. Um, yeah, this is and it's going to be on at the same time as All In, the exact same time. So I believe the All In pre-show starts at 1 o'clock. The Great American Bash pre-show starts at 2 o'clock. Both shows start at 3. So here's what I'm thinking. It's like AEW has matches on their buy-in / pre-show. NXT doesn't. So for the people that are not doing coverage on this, they're going to see the AEW pre-show and they're going to see the NXT pre-show that there's nothing happening, and then they're going to be more excited for All In. and they're going to want to watch All In instead. So NXT Great American Bash has nothing good going for them going into this weekend. And I'm going to always question why they thought it was a good idea to go head to head with AEW's WrestleMania. Um, but yeah, and apparently they're not going to stop. They're going to keep going head to head with AEW. So yeah, and what baffles me about this, and this is the last point before I wrap this up, before I go on too much of a rant about NXT and like completely ruin my chances at ever working for this company at all. But NXT is just not like it's not up to par with AEW recently. And they need better. And I look down this card and I look at the all in card. And I know we made this comparison again, but if you're going head to head with AEW, you need to do better than this. And they can do better than this. But this is what we're getting.
Adam Cole's entrance is more interesting than the average American Bash. That's all I have to say.
Yeah. But let us know what you guys think about the Great American Bash and everything going on. We're going to be doing our evolution predictions right after this, so it's going to be dropping on the same day. But yeah, make sure you guys subscribe, like, and comment. Hit the notification bell so you're up to date with all the videos, podcasts, and interviews. Subscribe to the Ko-Fi page. It's $5 minimum for the exclusive wrestling content here. Go follow Stu World Order on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter, and Instagram.
Not Twitter. I don't know how to use Twitter.
Instagram. Sorry. I don't know why I said Twitter. YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Go follow him over there. He's got some great content. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.